Hello everybody, welcome back to California Reloaded. This is my 6.5 Creedmoor load development video. I don't know what part we're on, part 3, I don't even know, man, I'm not keeping track of that shit. Next victim is the Nosler 120 grain, let me grab one. 120 grain E-tip. Okay, and for those of you who may not have seen the previous videos, these are them. That'll focus. These are the 120 grain Spitzers, non-lead. So, per my ladder test from my last load development video, this was back in October 7th of 24. I just did an incremental ladder test, so I'm just going off of my same ogive, which is all the same on these. Same overall length. I stopped at 39 grains of the 4350, and on the 4350, their suggested starting was 4100. So for whatever reason, I started way back. So on my last attempt, that third group, which had the 39 grains, I was at 2600 FPS. So I was very cautious on this one. Can't remember exactly why. So I'm just going to go straight to their suggested starting. I'm going to go to the 41 grains. I may feel saucy and change my mind and go to 42, but I already wrote on my load book here. This is for today's loading. I'm going to load 10. Oh, I forgot to write that. I'm going to go 10. And then also, I'm going to go 10 for the barns. So if you watched the barns, if you didn't watch the barns, doesn't matter. This was my load development for the barns. Again, this is for my rifle. This is my load. I'm not telling you guys what to do. Enter at your own risk. Loaded 10 of those. And then I'm going to go ahead and load 10 of these next. So I got the powder measure warming up. Actually, you know what? I need to turn that off. I'm going to go ahead and put my 10 primers in my 10 cases, get those on the load block. Then I'm going to warm up the powder measure. Not going to probably do too much footage on the powder measure because I'm sure, you guys know how powder measure works. So I'm just going to, I don't know. I'll take you through the loading process as I get it going. God damn, I can't fucking talk today. But I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I have 8 cases already charged up. I compared the first 3 to the 505. Dude, this Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper is the shit. This thing is spitting out super accurate rounds. But on my 9th load, you can see it's 0.1 over. This thing, I don't know. I guess it's just to be expected. It may happen every once in a while. So for these last 2, I figured, you know what? This is a good safety check. So I may as well film it. So if you don't want to watch it, just skip ahead. But now it's reading 0.1. I'm going to re-zero that out. Okay, I'm going to take the pan off. It should say 145.3, which it does. Let's go ahead and throw the pan back on. We're back at 0. Let's go ahead and start that over again. Hopefully it slows down, and I will be checking it on the 505 just to make sure that we're good. Which, this thing's not giving me any indication that we wouldn't be good. I mean, I think this thing is extremely accurate. On my own research on this IntelliDropper, I have seen quite a few videos of a lot of people saying that this thing's not very accurate. Here we go, we're stable. A lot of people saying it's not very accurate, and you know what? I don't know what anybody's issue would be. Obviously, maybe these things aren't all, 100%, but I like how it started that over because it had an error. I went ahead and dumped it out, and when I restarted it, it kind of restarted that count back at 9, which is awesome. Cool feature. So, let me see what the 505 is reading. The pan seems a little shaky, but we're right on the money. So, no doubt in my mind that this IntelliDropper is the shit. So, we'll go ahead and charge the last one here. And just for the sake of proficiency, I will check it on the 505 one last time. But hey man, this IntelliDropper, I really like it. It's it's the shit. It's doing its job, you know, and it catches itself very fast if it realizes it made a mistake. So, you know, I love how it's got the arrow that says under right above. I love that. And I love how it beeps at you when it's ready to go. I mean, and you see, it just spit out a few grains, or a few, not grains, but a few granulars of powder, and it actually caught itself. It actually took its time to make sure that the pan wasn't going to read 0.1 over before it beeped and said stable. So, you know, I actually really appreciate this thing. I think the guys over at Frankfurt Arsenal, despite the fact that they have this this ugly ass plastic on this thing looks cheap as hell. I gotta say, it's extremely accurate, and I am really enjoying using it. All right, 505. So it's on the line. It looks to be a hair above the line, but we're going to go ahead and just call it good. I mean, that's probably that 0.1 from my IntelliDropper video. I could have redone that load, but there's no doubt in my mind that this is within that tolerance. So I got my Nosler load ready to roll. I got my 10 cases primed and charged, so I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and set the press up, and I'm going to go ahead and press a few bullets, and then I will be back to show you guys my measurements so you can see that I'm within my spec. Okay, everybody, I am back. Got my first one done. My ogive is back to the original specification of 2.196. So I will get that shown up now. Showing that 0.5, which I'm not going to argue that 0.5. Let me take the comparator off, and my overall length should be hitting 2.7. Let's see, it's 2.716. That's assuming that, oops, let me get that on there better. It's assuming that these bullets are kind of all machined equally. I may not be in the center on that. There we go, I'm on the center. So 2/1000ths over on the overall length, but when I load, I'm more concerned with ogive than I am with overall length. I mean, it's going to vary a little bit bullet to bullet. Oops. And then let's see, just for comparison's sake, now that I got this going, these are a side-by-side of the Barnes and the Nosler. Obviously, the Barnes is a little bit longer, but I'm more worried, like I said, about ogive. I've already done my overall length gauge for all 3 of these bullets in my specific rifle. So that 2.16 is 20/1000ths backed off of where this made contact with the lands. And I didn't just do it one time. I did it multiple times. I found the average. So that's where I come up with my 2.16. Your results may vary. Do not, and again, I'm going to say this so many different times throughout this series, do not take my information and my measurements and try to make it relevant to your loads. You are doing it wrong if that's the case. You need to match up your stuff, your bullets with your rifle and load accordingly. So if you don't have an if you don't have an overall length gauge, get one. Take your own measurements. Do not. Here, I'm gonna hold this. I gotta support this one. This one's a little wonky. Do not measure factory rounds. Do not take factory, Hornady or Nosler or whatever rounds and get ogives off of those. Those are not the same bullets, more than likely. So, do your own measurements for your safety. Make it pertain to your rifle and your equipment. So this one here, I'm getting 2.2 on the dot. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to adjust the micrometer, obviously, because I've only done this on one round. I'm going to send it back in and just let it bottom out one more time. Sometimes you have to do that before you make adjustments. Again, this is only my second load on this bullet. So I'm still hitting that 2.2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one to the end of the block. I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to load one more. It could just be that specific bullet, or, I mean, if this one's hitting a 2.2, I may need to go ahead and make more adjustments on my die. So let's go ahead and very slowly, that one felt a little chunky. I didn't like that, but I think I need to oil up my press. So I might need to make a minor adjustment. Now I'm at a 2.99. I need to be I'm at a 2.199 rather. I apologize. 2.199. I need to be at a 2.196. So I'm going to give this thing 2 clicks. 1, 2. Send this through one more time. And I'm very soft with this, guys. You don't have to ram that thing all hard in your press. Be gentle. You want to be gentle. 2.198. I'm going to give this another 2 clicks. 1, 2. Each click should be 1,000th realistically, but those things may not be that accurate. Redding, though, I am really impressed with their dies. I think in the future I'm only going to buy Redding dies for my loads. 2.197. Sorry about the glare. 2.197 plus I'm getting that half, but again, I don't care about the half. I'm going to give this 1 click and send it back through. I don't care about the half. You know, I mean, come on, a half of 1,000th. I mean, are we really going to start nitpicking here? Again, not a precision rifle. I'm still hitting the 2.197, so I'm going to give this one more click. Hopefully we will be good with that. Send it through one more time softly. Make sure you hit the bottom. For safety's sake, I'm going to go ahead and reset back to 0. And then you just... So now I'm hitting 2.195 and a half. So I'm going to call that one okay. I mean, a half 1,000th tolerance. Who's going to nitpick that? Shit, even the precision shooters. I'm sure there's guys who would pull that bullet. You know what I mean? I'm not going to argue over a half of 1,000th, honestly. These are hunting loads, guys. These are hunting loads. So I went ahead and sent that first one back through. I'm going to send it back through one more time. Because again, this just could be a bullet. Maybe the ogive's not perfectly, or not perfectly, but maybe the ogive's not perfect on this one, perfectly machined. I'm getting a 1.96 and a half. Call it Gucci. All right, round number 4. So now basically this die should be set. So I should be hitting my 1.96 to 1.97, let's call it. And if I'm within that 1,000th, I think I'm going to be okay with that. Sometimes I wiggle these because it may not be sitting perfectly flat. 2.97, or I'm sorry, 2.197 and a half. Let's softly just send it in one more time for shits and gigs. Again, it's worth the extra. Getting that 2.196 and a half. So I think we're good. I think what I'll do now is on load number 5, I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 bumps at the bottom end and then put the comparator on it. Sometimes you got to guide these long bullets Just very slowly. I'm going to kind of give that a little jerk. And you see how it kind of helps set that thing in straight. And now I'm just going to go ahead and softly. That crunching, by the way, is not the bullet. That crunching, actually, you know what? It could be the bullet. I'm wondering if this is compressed. Hang on. This could be a compressed load, guys. According to this, using the H350, it is not a compressed load. 1 asterisk is the winner out of their testing. 2 asterisks is a compressed load. So they do not have any information on here on a compressed load. But, well, let's see, what did they set theirs to? Their overall length is 2.775. Mine is 2.716 overall length. So I am shorter, so I could be compressed here. Take my glove off so my glove doesn't make noise. Let me see. Nope, I hear powder. I'm not compressed. So, let me go ahead and wipe off that residue. Oh, wait, I'm going to check this one. So, I'm going to re-zero this one. See where we're at. Ooh. See, this one's a little short. So I'm going to leave that at the end of the block. I think you guys get the gist of what I'm doing. I try to get this as accurate as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these rounds off and measure them so I'm not boring you guys. That last one, that was 2.194. I may put it in my my hammer and unseat it a little bit and check it from there. But the other 5, I'm going to go ahead and load up and see where I'm at. And okay, guys, I'm back. I am done with these 10. I did re-verify. These are compressed loads. They're slightly compressed. I'm not too worried about it. I've done compressed loads before in my experimentations. I will proceed with caution when I do go to the range and I go ahead and test these rounds. I will proceed with caution. If I have a Looney Tunes moment where I blow up my rifle in my face, then maybe I'll just stop hand loading altogether. But I have never had an issue this so far with reloading. So let me grab this. So here was the first 10, which was the Barnes LRX 127 grain. So these beautiful babies are now in their carriage awaiting the range. And now I will put the Noslers in the center. All 10 are the same. I fixed that last one like I said. I just put it in my, dead blow, whatever you call it. The thing, that hammer that you whack and it unseats the bullet. I don't go all the way. I just give it like, 5-6 really good whacks. Make sure the bullet doesn't come out. And then I remeasure it, throw it back in the press, and get it to where it needs to be. So there we go, guys. That was the Nosler portion of this. So now I'm it's going to be the end of this video. Now I'm going to come back for the next video. Will be the Hornady CX 130s. I'll see you guys.